When grocery shopping, do you usually choose organic?
I don't typically choose organic. I feel like it's mainly like more pricey than like the regular stuff.
I don't usually look for organic. I will buy it, but it usually has to do more with cost for myself.
I find the quality to be similar, and the non-organic is typically cheaper.
Do you think there's a noticeable difference between organic and non-organic?
No, I don't really think there's a noticeable difference, especially when cooking and mixing them all together.
I don't really think taste-wise there's too much of a difference.
No, I haven't noticed any difference. Other than sometimes the organic spoils faster.
What do you think organic farming actually means?
So I would gather it would be more hands-on.
Often organic is smaller holdings, fewer chemicals, less big pharma, less all of that stuff.
I don't know everything about it, but I know that it certainly sounds a lot more attractive when you think about all the chemicals and things that they put on than non-organic.
My name is Adam. I started farming at this location about a dozen years ago with the old owner. My family took it on in 2022. This year particularly has really been a transitional year where it's starting to become our farm as we shift away from the way it was farmed in previous years. The farm was farmed using conventional methods with pretty typical spray regimes. And we're shifting away from that. We're trying to go back to the old traditional natural methods, or new natural methods. We've been going essentially beyond organic. This year is going to be a determining factor in whether this is a viable way to continue farming. So right over here we have the sprayer that has been used on this orchard. This turbo mist has sprayed the fruits and the trees for many years here. It's really effective at growing grapefruit with traditional practices, but it also soaks the land with pesticides. Most people that have looked into it are quite alarmed by the amount of chemicals used to produce clean fruit, which is only clean in physical appearance.
I wanted to extra say, I'm happy you're not spraying, and I want to be one of those customers that comes in and says, good for you.
So I don't spray anymore, but when I did, I used to have to wear this protective personal equipment to protect my lungs, my eyes, my skin, my entire body. The stuff we sprayed out here was potentially dangerous to humans and the environment. We have gone beyond organic out here, which means I am not spraying any synthetic or industrial amendments to my trees or my soil or my fruit. That's pretty much it for this old suit and me.
Before we reach our long-term goals out here of being completely organic, we still have some storms to weather. So this beautiful old Bartlett tree has almost seen its last days. It is succumbing to the fire blight, which you can see in these limbs with the brown leaves on them. There is a significant lack in the agricultural industry of trees that have been bred to grow good fruit without any conventional chemical inputs. It's become increasingly
big problem in pear orchards, particularly ours, and I don't want to douse the earth with poison in order to keep growing decent fruit, which is why we are starting to replace these trees with these new blight-resistant varieties. So with Fawn Hill Family Fruit Farm's breeding project, I'm working with some of the best apples that grow out here and crossing them with new genetics to hopefully breed out some of their problems and potentially bring more nutrient density to some of these varieties. So this is it. Hopefully there's some viable seeds in this beauty. Oh, there's one. So now we carefully extract the seeds here. Got a good count out of this one. At this point, I would consider the breeding project an investment. This is it, folks. The future of apples right here. One out of these seeds will produce an incredible new apple. So when you go into the grocery store, you often see nothing but perfectly uniform apples. This apple in particular has probably been covered with pesticide numerous times in order for it to get even this clean. Whereas this little beauty here, it's a little smaller, got a couple little beauty marks on it, but it has been grown completely naturally. And despite the spots on the exterior, it is in fact really quite clean on the inside. When we were making this transition, I definitely immediately was getting pushback from the very people that encouraged me to go beyond organic as soon as they saw the quality of the fruit. Unfortunately, the fruit being the healthiest that I'd ever grown it was covered with spots and sooty blotch and blemishes and bug bites. I'd been eating fruit like this for a long time, and I knew that this is good quality fruit despite appearances, but convincing the general public of that is easier said than done. So today we're doing a little taste comparison, blind taste test to see if people can tell the difference between a naturally grown apple and a store-bought apple. Hey there, would you eat an apple that looked like this if you saw it in the store?
No, I don't think I would.
Maybe not off the first glance, but yeah, probably.
Pretty gnarly looking though, eh? Yeah. Maybe just for the experience. Well, that's what a natural apple looks like. It has not been sprayed with any pesticides. These are natural bacteria and fungus that grows on apples. It is harmless to us, but yeah, we've been trained to think the opposite, that apples without any imperfections are the healthy ones when in fact the opposite is true. So today we got a blind taste test here. We have a little cube of store-bought apple and a little cube of natural apple. We're gonna see if you can taste a difference in the two. The first or second, which one's it gonna be?
I don't know, I like the second one.
I'd say the second would be from the farm.
Well, that was our apple. Made the correct selection there. Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, yeah,
That's it.
I was gonna say when I had the first one like that, tastes store-bought.
That's it, buddy. You were correct. All right. Excellent. Well, that's encouraging. There's been a significant impact this year. It's been a year of learning, and it's been encouraging, but it's also been a scary one. I've had many of my farmer friends be like, so what are you gonna do? You gonna go just start spraying again or what? It'd be way easier, and it would be way easier. But nothing worthwhile is ever easy, as my pops always says, so. Many people are really afraid of blemished fruit, and there was a part of me that was concerned we were not gonna sell anything.
People expected the apples that we had previously.
Yes.
And they weren't as pretty.
Yes. So if we had continued to use sprays into this year, we definitely would have had more saleable apples at the point of purchase. How about financially? How did we do?
Not so great.
Right. Right now it looks like we're going to be right at zero. Just $0 profit. Sales have been dwindling. We're running out of fruit. We might close the shop after this weekend. And once you stop making about $500 a day, $300 a day, it's not worth for the barn to be open. The most financially feasible option would probably be to go back to spraying.
I think you're on the right track not spraying. So you take a hit for a couple of years and see what happens. And worst case scenario, we learn to survive with that right thing.
we're able to make enough to keep going. Even with the challenges that we experienced this year, we are going to continue farming in this method. It wasn't a blockbuster year. It wasn't a devastating year. It was just kind of a starting point.
This year was also a giant transition year. So what would normally take some people 10 years to make the changes, Adam has done it in 1 year.
If I could share one piece of advice with farmers about going beyond organic, I would encourage you to try it. Oftentimes in the food and agricultural industry, small growers have influence on the big growers. Things start out and information gets passed anecdotally before it's researched, and then eventually the big companies see it is worthwhile to do it that way. And I do have very high hopes that we can do this. We've been farming naturally for thousands of years. We can do it again. It's a challenge, but nothing worthwhile is ever easy.